So Monarch
Come
Legacy
on.
of Monsters, episode 10, the finale. So I'll let you go ahead and say your score first, then I'll say my score, and then we'll get into spoilers.
Okay. My score is a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I I I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. I loved, for the most part, I loved every bit of it. I thought they played up the emotions in this episode really good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I felt what was going on, and the acting I thought was great in this one with all the characters. The action was awesome. Special effects looked good. The ending was awesome. The they kind of, you want to learn and know more about what's happening. Like this was it was I was worried they're gonna fumble it,
Yeah.
and I thought they did a great job.
Yep. So piggybacking on that, I totally agree. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was amazing. Um, yeah, the emotional parts was I was surprised at how well they did it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Same.
it was really good. So yeah, let's get into spoilers because I want to talk about it. So spoiler alert for Monarch. If you haven't seen the finale, definitely highly recommend you to go watch it. And then you can come back and hear our thoughts on it.
Yes.
Okay, spoiler alert out of the way. I want to watch the season 2 right now.
No, so do I. Now,
uh,
the way it ended, like it was like, because I was wondering how much time were they gonna let pass?
yeah, that was the biggest question for me.
Because they never. I mean, I'm sure someone's done the math by now, but they never said, how long. If you're there for an hour, how
Yeah,
long is it? They never said it
yep.
like specifically. And when I got back up, and then you saw obviously like it was 2 years, and but by the way, all this time stuff is still like mind effing me, right? Like
Yeah,
not just that part, but with the doc, it's been there for 2 months. The grandma, the
yeah,
grandma, it's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, the grandma who's now younger than like
Yeah,
probably her
it's so
grandchildren. Like, yeah,
so weird. Like this whole episode I was watching, I was like, it made me think, and like when a show makes me think, like and put myself in that situation, I'm like, okay, they're doing something right. And the
yeah,
actress was did a great job, I thought.
yeah. Kiko's actress, Keiko's.
Hmm.
Yeah, she did.
The only reason I didn't give this a 10 is I thought the first like 10 or so minutes was slower, and I thank God they didn't do it. But like in the first 10 minutes, I thought they're gonna do one of those things where like May didn't say anything to her at first, and I was so frustrated. Like, why wouldn't you know who she is? Or not May, sorry,
Kate. Yeah,
Kate.
yeah,
Like, why would you mention something? I know you're stressed and worried, but this is like you're like, holy crap. And I
yeah,
thought they were gonna do it the whole episode. I'm like, please God, no.
yeah. I kind of was
Uh,
worried about that too. Yeah, but they
and
they
they did.
didn't. Yeah,
But yeah, I would say the first 10 minutes are a little slower. So like I didn't think it was like perfect. Uh but yeah, besides that, like I really didn't have any complaints. I mean, what about you?
yeah. No, I agree. I thought so. I guess my only complaints is, and I don't even know if I'd call it a complaint, but just like I still feel like the younger trio is so much worse than like Keiko, Shaw,
Oh, for sure.
and Bill. I almost wish this was like a 6 episode just in the past kind of thing, but I don't know. It
Mhm.
was still fine, and in this episode, it wasn't really that big of a deal. Kate was kind of just there, and like you said, she didn't mention it at first, but then eventually did, and yeah, I
Yeah.
just seeing Shaw and Keiko and how emotional their scenes were, like when Keiko first met Shaw, and then when she realizes the time jump and like the emotion and the shock, and like that was just all so well acted that I'm kind of like, why did we even have Kate and May and to some extent
I
Kentaro
know.
for some parts? Like he was a little better, but he still didn't have that much to do.
You didn't have that much to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even when Shaw was explaining, was explaining to her like the
Yeah.
future. I was like, oh, like that was interesting. Like she's probably sitting there and like bones, like you could do anything with it. Like what? Like
Yeah.
because she's from what the 50s, it was like 50, what 59 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So he's talking about like phones that you could do anything with that everyone carries around. Like this has to be like in
Mind
her head. Like
blowing.
what world?
Yeah.
And I can't wait for season 2. And I
Yeah.
hope they play into that. Please. I want that to be a huge focus of is like her kind of
Yeah.
like adjusting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That man, it was so and the special effects too. Like I like the whole
Oh,
look of everything. It's kind of dark but colorful in a way.
yeah. And that fight
And
with God. So, okay, let's talk about Godzilla because Godzilla was
oh,
amazing this episode.
oh, Godzilla.
Godzilla freaking destroyed that. I think it was called the Ion Dragon.
Yeah.
That was like not even a fight, it was a massacre.
Oh, and him coming out of like the portal.
Oh, it looked so
Oh,
cool.
dude. I was watching it and I was literally like, "Damn, how the Godzilla!" Like, he's like freaking punching the ion dragon and like ripping them apart. I was literally like, "Yeah!" Like,
Yeah, for sure. Me
what is
too.
it about freaking like kaiju fights, dude? Like,
Oh, so
oh,
good.
and it looked so good too. Like, it looked as good as
Yeah.
the movies.
Yeah, it did.
It was such a cool fight. And what's so cool about Godzilla is like, and this is kind of what this is kind of different from like than some Godzilla iterations, but like for the MonsterVerse, what I like about this Godzilla is I truly don't think he gives a crap about humans. Like in
Yeah,
the sense that he doesn't like try to go after them. It's like if he's in the way, they're in the way. If not, he doesn't care.
right. Yeah, I do like
Like
that too.
so, like
It's just
he's not like bad. He's not good. He's just there doing
a
what he needs to
force
do.
doing what he needs. Yeah, I do like that
Yeah.
too.
So like
Yeah.
there's something about I don't know, but that was so cool, dude. I was like, yeah. Like, I was literally cheering like I
Yeah.
wanted more of it, dude.
Yeah, I do too.
It
Definitely.
was so
Season 2,
clear too.
hopefully.
Like it was for it being like darker down there. It was so clear. Like I felt like I could
Yeah.
see the whole fight, and it was like it looked good. And
Yeah, that's
oh,
one thing I feel like some shows do better than Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson is so dark and it's so hard to see, but like Monarch, you could
mhm.
definitely see what was going on.
Yeah, it was like full fledged, and they had like the scope of it. The camera would pan out and show the whole I'm
Yep.
fighting, and it looked so cool. And then them when they were kind of getting sucked into the portal, like she could kind of still see Godzilla down there, and
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that
then
was cool.
did Shaw stay behind because they can't afford Kurt Russell anymore, or
Or did he stay behind so that he can be in a cameo later where he just shows up in like season 2?
and he's the same
Yeah,
age,
and he's the same age exactly.
and it could be happily, yeah, it could be happily ever after.
Yep. I don't know.
They
I
better
don't
do that
he's
though.
definitely not
That'd be
dead.
good. No, oh heck no, he's not
Yeah,
dead.
definitely not. So he should. I think
No.
he'll show up, even if it's just for an episode or so. Or yeah,
Although, like, how I mean, if he did show up for a cameo, it would have to be like
in Hollow Earth or something, and then he stays there again. Or yeah, I don't know.
because they would have to wait how many years on Earth for him to be like her age?
Oh yeah, I don't know. A
You
lot.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Shoot. So she would be, but she would be his age when he came out. Obviously, well, I don't know though, because he went back down
Yeah.
for and for like another 30 years or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It depends
But
on.
they'll figure out some way.
Yeah, I feel like with the time thing, they could always just do what they want and be like, yeah, it makes sense. And like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Some people will probably be like, well, this doesn't make sense because this time period was this and this time, but like, it doesn't really matter that much.
Another thing I thought, this could just be me speculating, but did you notice when they were like going through the portal, they like swifted left and went down a different way?
I didn't notice that. Huh.
Yeah, like they were, you're going in a portal, and then, like they were, in the thing, whatever it is, a ship,
Yeah, the
and
pod.
all of a sudden the portal like there's like a branched off to go a different way.
Well,
And what I wonder is,
yeah.
did Shaw like fall out but still go through the portal, but kept going straight? They could like, if that is that how they could
Oh,
like on it, or like maybe he got slipped into a different time period,
possibly.
or just a different spot on Earth.
Yeah,
Because I
that could
noticed
be.
that if you rewatch it, the portal splits off,
And that was what,
and
like,
they go
around the time he fell off the thing.
he fell off as they were getting sucked up. But doesn't that
Yeah,
mean he would still be getting sucked up, or do
you would think
you have to be
so.
metal like
I
that?
don't
Well, I don't know.
know.
Do you no? Because when they were
I don't
doing it
think
in
it
the
has to be metal. Yeah.
because he was, I mean, they were in the air, right? They're getting sucked up.
Yeah. I feel like they could either have him grab onto something or he could have been sucked up and went down a different path. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that, and I don't know why I noticed it, but I'm like, that's odd. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah. That's
Like,
interesting.
but yeah, like if you rewatch it, you'll notice it too.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, he's not dead
Definitely not
now. Do I
dead.
think Kurt Russell will like be in the show a lot in season 2? Probably not.
Probably not. I agree
Uh,
with that.
but yeah, and then the ending was awesome, right? Like I knew,
Oh, the
like
ending was awesome.
when they got out, they're like, "Where am I?" Like I knew something was weird.
Yeah.
They saw Kentaro, and then he mentioned, "No, the last 2 years."
Yep. Okay,
There
yeah,
was another
and
like,
so the scene in Hollow Earth where Keiko realizes she's the time jump was really good,
mhm.
and also the moment where she met Hiroshi I thought was really emotional and a
Oh,
really good scene.
that was so good.
Yeah.
Even the way they hugged, like he hugged her
Mm-hmm.
like that is his mom. Like it was, you know what I mean? Like it felt
Yeah.
like an innocent, like he's a little boy kind of hug.
Yeah. And that makes
Like
sense because that's the last time he saw his
yeah,
mom. Like, yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like not
Yeah.
trying to sound weird or anything, but like that, 'cause that's the last time I saw his mom. So it felt like he's been waiting for that hug or he never thought he was going to get it again.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
This episode play. I'm talking like I agree with you. I didn't expect it to get like this emotional,
Yeah.
and not even sad emotional, but just like a whoa, like
I honestly didn't think it could with because of Kate, May,
Mhm.
and Kentaro. Like I just didn't expect it to do that. But yeah,
I didn't I didn't either. And
I feel like the
there's
Keiko
just so many.
actress is so good. She did such a good job.
She did really good. Like, and she made you feel so bad, and then like I said, made you. At least I thought about like, wow, well, like if I was in her position, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Like it was making me think, like, oh man, I can only imagine. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It
That was
was.
yeah,
I
that would
loved
be
it.
so crazy. Like that would destroy your mind. Like
Yeah, and
yeah.
like I keep going back to that scene where Shaw's explaining to her, like, oh, it's different, but people are the same. There's mothers, there's
Yeah.
fathers. Like I was like that. You're right. Like Kate and May didn't even need to fall down there.
Right. They did not.
It was good. And then of course, like, the final scene showing
Oh,
Kong, that was just icing on the cake.
yes, that was so cool seeing Kong. I do have some questions about that though. So
Mm-hmm.
that building is obviously on Skull Island because it's called Skull
Mm-hmm.
Island Research Center. But like
Mm-hmm.
in Godzilla versus Kong, I thought it was Monarch who had Kong. Why is Apex? I don't know. I'm just confused about the Apex versus Monarch and if they're working
So
together, not working together. Like
I don't
I don't
so
know.
I thought about it, and it did make sense when you think about it, though, because Apex, the whole point of Godzilla versus Kong is they needed to go to Hollow Earth, right, to get something powerful enough
Yeah.
to
The
to power Mecha Godzilla. So it
right.
makes if they knew they were going to come up there, maybe they decided, I don't know, kill two birds with one stone. I guess you get. I don't know. That's a good question, but it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like they could weave it in. I think.
Yeah, they definitely could. I'm just curious how they're going to because I feel like Monarch, well, they did Monarch was the one who initially went to Skull Island and Kong Skull Island,
Mhm.
right? but
Mhm.
now Apex has an outpost there. I'm just
Well,
interested to see how they're if they're working together, if they're enemies, like how that's gonna work.
I feel like they're enemies, right?
Yeah,
Or maybe not enemies, but not working together.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, because
That'll be interesting. I thought it was
again,
really
you could
cool though.
argue as much as like Apex are the bad guys, you could argue that they're not. They're just trying to protect Earth
Yeah, yeah,
in the sense of like having defense against Titans.
right. That's
But
true.
has Monarch been to Skull Island since the 70s when they went?
That's a good question. I do not know who.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the beginning of Godzilla versus Kong, someone has Kong in that like dome, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is that on Skull Island? And was that Monarch who built the dome, or was it Apex? These are all questions I have. I don't know the answer. I don't know if there are answers, but
Yeah,
like
I don't know the answer either, but I feel like I need to. I think
rewatch Godzilla
before
versus
the
Kong.
new before the new Godzilla and Kong movie comes out, we just need to rewatch all the MonsterVerse movies.
Yeah, yeah. And that'll be cool to rewatch it with Monarch in mind and this to
Yeah,
like
because kind of connects the little pieces and
yeah, and Monarch season 2 I feel
uh,
like it's going to connect even more.
yeah, and so this one ends. So they're in 2017,
2017,
which means
so
they're 2 years off from Godzilla King of Monsters.
yep.
This happened in 2019, and they're 5 years off from Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep.
Okay, because I saw people like, oh, it's that's when Kong came out. Yeah, but Kong was based out of the 70s. It came out in 2017,
Right. Yeah.
but it,
It was in the
it was based out of
70s.
the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So season two, if we're like kind of theorizing what's going to happen, I hope it's more of like a Kong focused season. Like we had a Godzilla focused season.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Now this one we get some like Kong cameos on Skull Island and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and then I think they'll tie this one into Godzilla King of Monsters, right?
Yeah. I would think so cuz that's coming
Which
up 2 years.
if season two does good and like it ties into Godzilla King of Monsters, then man, I can't wait for a season three. If it's like in
Yeah.
between King of Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong,
Yeah, that'll be cool.
because that would be such an interesting like
Time
time
period.
period for a show like
Yeah.
Monarch.
Monarch. Good old Mark.
It's Monday, man. Okay.
Yeah, it is Monday. Yeah, that
uh,
would be a really cool time period to see.
yeah, I I think it's all. I don't know if it's like fully confirmed there's a season two, but I think like the showrunner pretty much said there's gonna be
Yeah,
season two.
I feel like it's been at the top of Apple TV, like the most watched. You know how they have that section? I feel like it's been at the top of that most of the time it's been running. So I feel like they
I think
definitely
it has. Yeah.
should, like, they have reason to renew it.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I think
hopefully,
they will. And if they do, oh, season two. Yeah, I don't
yep,
know. It would be so cool if I wonder if it'd be like the whole season would be like on Skull Island,
yeah, and like
Like what would
Keiko
be the
studying Ong, or like I wonder what they're.
I feel like it's
Yeah,
gonna be even though it's a continuation, I feel like it'd be such a different show than season one.
yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, because like even Shaw not being there will be weird. The flashbacks not happening. Well, there still might be some, but like I don't think they're going to be
Well, like
as big of a deal.
yeah, well, and like even the beginning of season one to the end of season one, it feels like a different show.
That's true. That's true.
Like the first three episodes were almost like let's see what's like this is kind of the post Godzilla world, and
Yeah.
here's like two siblings found each other and something happened to their dad. Then the middle two episodes are kind of going on that adventure, and then the last four or five felt like the true I feel like the last five episodes, the second half of the season,
Hmm.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like that's when the show found its footing.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that.
The first 3 episodes, I guess it's just episode 4 and 5 were definitely the weakest.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. It was like, and there were some weird things in there about like splitting up when they didn't have to, and like May was
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. Yeah, some of the character choices are weird.
Yeah, and to think like 5 weeks ago or whenever those episodes aired, like I was literally like sad because I'm like, oh man, am I not going to get excited for the show anymore?
Yeah, then that turned around, so
Then it
that's
turned
good.
around, thankfully.
Yep.
But yeah, that's kind of all I got. 9 out of 10, totally unexpected. Glad we watched it because it was awesome.
Yeah.
And now we wait till Godzilla and Kong. I think it's called.
Yeah, Godzilla and Kong. Yeah, I think that's all I had too. Yeah. Great show. Thank you for recommending it. That's a good question. No, you're good. I was just saying thank you for recommending the show. Just because I'm very glad we watched it. Is it Godzilla and Kong or Godzilla X Kong? The New Empire.
It's X Kong, but I think it's. I mean, does that
say
mean
it as and? I don't know. Let's see. Release date March 29th, 2024 in the United States. That's coming up.
Okay.
That's
so a couple months.
Yeah, that's closer than I thought. Very cool.
Okay. Sweet. And I had kind of so I watched the trailer obviously, and then I had looked up. So they have like a new bad guy. What's his name? It's the monkey. It's like an orangutan.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did see
it's like Star King is his name, or Scar King.
Okay.
And to me, I am so interested in that aspect of this film, like having like an ape, or I guess it's like a huge orangutan. I think they said.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like it's going to be different than having like a kind of like a reptilian type monster.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be. I feel like you're gonna see more of like a kind of like a Kong, right? Like expressions
hand to hand, and expressions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hand to hand, and obviously there's some sort of like lore down in Hollow Earth with him and Kong and
yep.
humans, and so like yeah, this I don't even know if Godzilla will be like a bit like I feel like Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla was the main focus, and I feel like maybe this one will be Kong the main focus and Godzilla coming in to help.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially with that bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm really, and I know this movie's. I'm not like expecting any like crazy human elements.
Yeah, I'm not expecting Godzilla -1.
No. What I just hope, like with this movie, and this is my expectation, is I hope it digs into like lore of the villain and Kong and Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Not really emotion, but just lore. Because I know we're not getting the emotion.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that. Honestly, that would be cool. Because I know we're gonna see some cool monster fights, so that is already gonna be there. And then more lore, I'd like that. Yeah.
And will Apex still play a part in this? Like, are they gonna come back?
That is a good question. Or
have they truly fallen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess and Monarch to an extent. Like, I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I'm just very curious. That's that's what this show has made me love the universe more.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it really has.
Yeah, it's definitely put me into the universe and like seeing it from a different point of view, and like all the post Godzilla stuff, and from Monarch's point of view, it's been really cool.
Eggs and cameos.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. We'll definitely be reviewing that one.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yep, that's all I got.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for season 2. It's going to be so long, but we'll be here reviewing it, I'm sure, when it happens.
Yes. Oh yeah.